Hey folks, Good Guy Glenn here, and today we're going to do something that we've done here on this channel before. We're going to do a boot review. I've done boot reviews before on my other channel, Spooky Jeep, but since Spooky Jeep really is on hiatus right now, we're going to talk about this boot, the Thorogood 804 8-inch Moc Toe. And the reason why we're talking about this boot today is because, as you know, I have a new career in trucking, and I was informed by just about all the companies that I'm talking to that you need to have a steel toe boot. So up until this point, I've worn these, my die-hard 8-inch Moc Toes. I swear by these boots. I wore these doing bridge work. The soles are pretty hardy on these, unlike the Red Wings and Irish Setters, which wear away very quickly. These boots, for the relatively cheap price that they were back in the day, were a good value for what you got. I like these boots a lot because they've got a storm welt on them, which helps out a lot in the water. I always mink oil my boots, so they're pretty water resistant. And I've worn these for years. They've held up pretty good because I take care of my stuff, but they don't make these anymore, number one. And number two, I don't think they ever had a steel toe version of these boots. So although these are broken in and I love them to death and I wear them every single day, on to the new. So these are the 8-inch Moc Toe. They're safety toed. They have the Max Wedge, the Thorogood Max Wedge. I've heard mixed reviews about this, as far as it being slippery, as far as it wearing down, but it is what it is. So my foot on the Brannick measuring device is a size 12D. And I wound up going with a size 11 2E, which is a little bit, one size down and a little bit wide. And that turned out to fit perfectly. So with boots like this, you really need to try them on. And I know Amazon is, you know, people love to shop on Amazon, but you really don't know. Every pair of boots fits differently. And this was the pair that fit me perfect. And I didn't want to make this purchase now, being that I really don't have a whole lot of money at my disposal right now. But I went in to look at some pants at Bill's Workwear in Manasquan, New Jersey, and these boots were on sale for $225. They're going on Amazon for about $265, somewhere around there. I've seen them at Boot Barn for $300+ dollars. So I went to Boot Barn a couple of weeks ago to try these boots on because I knew that the purchase was coming up. And when I saw these today at Bill's Workwear for almost $100 cheaper, it was a no-brainer. I put it on my credit card and I picked it up. My first impressions of these boots is, well, I've been a fan of Thorogoods a long time. They're made in the USA. The leather is nice. I bought this particular pair because I was looking at the 1957s, but the 1957s, although a very attractive boot, had a lining inside, a waterproof lining. I don't like that at all. My Chippewas have a lining in them, and I find in the summer that's very uncomfortable. Plus, when your foot, like my foot will do, wear out near the counter, in the counter cover, and there's no counter cover in that boot, so then your counter will come through the lining, and it just, that didn't attract me at all. So I went with these, which have no lining whatsoever in them. Thing I don't like about these boots is the speed hooks. I'm not a fan of speed hooks. As you see, the diehards have no speed hooks. They're just all eyelets. I prefer eyelets. I find, especially with driving a truck, this will come unlaced. And I would just prefer to have eyelets. But that aside, the construction of this boot is decent. It's got a Norwegian weld on it, welt on it, but that Norwegian stitch is fake. It's not real. It's a 360 degree Goodyear welted boot, so this is resolable. And yeah, I really am going to have to check these out, see what I think about them. But I pulled the trigger on them and I purchased them. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna see how they work out. I already have a couple pairs of steel toe boots, Chippewas, like I said, but they're logger boots. And driving a truck in logger boots just is not comfortable at all with the high heel stack in the rear. I tell you, it would be great on the clutch foot, because when you're double clutching, you just pivot on that nice heel stack. But as far as the pedals, the gas pedal and the brake pedal, no bueno. I prefer the Christie sole all day long. I like Moc Toe boots because they have a wide toe box and they allow your feet to splay out, which if you followed my channel, you know I was into the barefoot thing for a long time. And I just think that's better for your feet. What do I know? I'm not a podiatrist, like I said. I've been wearing these for some time. They're lined. I don't know if you can see that. These things are lined with like a pig skin. Not a fan of that. There's some sort of lining material in between, because down by the counter it tore a hole. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some sort of material in here. So these boots, like I said, they got the leather. They're just straight up leather. There's no lining, which I prefer. They got a gusseted tongue that comes up to the speed hooks, which is great. And then they got this insole, which I like a leather insole in my boots. This has got like a fiberboard inside, but for the time being, I guess I'll rock these. And I have to see how they feel. I generally don't wear socks with my boots, and a lot of people think that's gross, but I have my reasons. And I probably will wear socks with these, only because they have this weird insole in here. And yeah, this is it. The Thorogood 804 8-inch Moc, made in the United States of America. So this is what they look on, how they look on. To be honest with you, I should have probably not gone with such a wide size, because they feel a little bit loose. But I would rather them feel a little bit loose than too tight. I don't know. I'm wearing a thin sock. I probably would wear a thicker sock when I wear these. They're not broken in yet, so it's very hard to say how they're going to feel once they're broken in. They're very comfortable. They don't hurt my feet right away. I think as they break in, they'll fit better. But like I said, I still have those diehards that I'm probably going to wear most of the time, and these would probably just be for work, but I don't know. I'm going to wear them for the next couple of weeks to break them in, and I'll let you know if I think that maybe I should have went with a more true to size than what I purchased. I have plenty of room. I have plenty of room in the toe box, so that part is fine. Just in the heel, it feels a little bit loose, but it could be just they're new. They just feel weird. I don't want my boots to be very snug on my feet, because I want my feet to be able to just like relax. But it's hard to tell right now if these are maybe a little bit too big. When I walk, it doesn't feel so bad. I think it'll be all right. Like I said, once these break in, like the other ones are broken in, I think they'll feel a lot better, probably. Also, the leather is like so stiff on my legs, so that could definitely make it feel like it's moving around more, whereas when it's more broken in, it could probably wind up feeling a lot better. I knew I was going to go with Thorogoods if I had to ever buy another pair of boots, but because, you know, they don't make diehards anymore, and the Thorogoods are a better quality of boot, the diehards definitely were for what they were worth. I always wore expensive boots. I always wore Red Wings. Then I switched over to Chippewas because they were a lot more comfortable. The Red Wings always hurt my feet, always. I wore Red Wings for years, and I never found a pair that were comfortable. The Chippewas were a lot more comfortable, but very heavy, because I always wore a logger boot. And my cousin always told me for years to get the Moc Toe, the carpenter boot, he called it, the carpenter boot. And for bridge work, it was so much better and a lot more comfortable. And like I said, those diehards, they were just cheap enough that if you even wore them out through the season, you know, they were cheap enough to just buy another pair, but they were also Goodyear welted, so you could have them resold. I never did it, but you could have it done. I often think about when it comes time, I would send those boots out to Trenton and Heath channel I follow on YouTube and have them redo them and make them like super fancy, but we'd have to see. I mean, I don't even know if it's worth it, but it would be cool to see like what they would do with them. So as far as these go, as of right now, I don't know. I think, I mean, I'm walking around and they're not hurting my feet. And they're a good looking boot. That's gonna about wrap it up for us today. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so when I drop another video, you get a notification. Once again, this is Good Guy Glenn. Thanks for watching.